Hello everyone. This is a strange plant. On its left side is a red rose, on its right one is a white one. These two roses start fighting. The War of the Roses was fighting between two branches of the royal house of Plantagenet. The red rose was the house of Lancaster, the white one was the house of York. Henry VII had to end this fighting. There are giant red roses on the left and giant white roses on the right. These giant roses are the nobility. In the middle is a small hen. This is Henry. The hen has a crown on his head which has dice instead of jewels. The dice represents the number 6 as dice go up to 6. This is Henry VI. One cause of the War of the Roses was the nobility had grown too powerful and taken advantage of kings such as Henry VI. Henry VII held more control over the nobility than previous monarchs. A DeLorean represents the time period of the War of the Roses. It was the car in Back to the Future, set in 1955 and 1985. The War of the Roses was from 1455 to 1485. The hand represents the changes in king. There had been 5 violent changes of king in this war. It was politically a very unstable time. Henry had to strongly establish his dynasty. There is a big head with the word written on the head. It's Edward. He has a boat sail on his head. A boat sail looks like the number 4. It is Edward IV. He's chasing Henry. Henry gets a ride from a giraffe tightrope walker. A giraffe's long neck and head look like the number 7. A tightrope walker carries one long pole and walks on one tightrope, so it represents the number 1. So a giraffe tightrope walker is 71 for 1471. They escape across the sea. In 1471, Henry VII became the number 1 Lancastrian claimant to the throne. He lived as a fugitive abroad for 14 years. He was a stranger when returning to England. He did not have a network of nobles he could trust, so he established his own intelligence network to spy on many nobles. Here is a giant knee with a platform shaped like the UK attached to it. It's Brittany. On the platform is a duck. Duck sounds like Duke. The duck is very good with nunchucks. Nunchucks are made with 2 bars, so they represent second. He was the second Duke. Henry's body has turned into a safe. This means he will be safe. After fleeing England, he went to Brittany and was protected by the second Duke of Brittany, where he spent most of his 14 years until 1485. Henry was eager to defend Brittany when he became king. A snowman kangaroo is selling papers. The snowman's 2 round sections look like the number 8, and a kangaroo balances on 3 limbs, so it represents the number 3. This makes the number 83 for 1483. There is a picture on the paper of a gold man. He must be rich. He is Richard. He has a gold pyramid above his head. A triangle has 3 sides. It is Richard III. Above him is the title Murderer. Many suspected Richard III had murdered his 2 nephews in 1483 so he could take the throne for himself. Some white roses are wearing alien masks. They are Yorkists who feel alienated by Richard III's rule. There are 2 separate groups of white roses. Richard III's actions alienated many Yorkists and split the Yorkist party in 2. This division gave Henry the chance to become king. Henry became king because traditional Yorkists left Richard III and went over to his side. As king, Henry weakened many Yorkists, but he avoided alienating them altogether. He gave many the chance to redeem themselves. A hen is at the number 1 section of a podium. He has won a battle, so there are no second or third places. The king chess piece symbolises battle. The king chess piece has a price label. The pawn is surprised to learn the worth of his boss. Loads. His Bosworth. This is the Battle of Bosworth. Under the chess piece is Richard III, because he has lost the battle. Henry receives a crown that is connected to helium balloons. It is in danger of floating away from his grasp. Henry won his crown in an afternoon at the Battle of Bosworth, where he defeated Richard III. He won his crown by conquest. His hold of power at that time was not secure. He needed to move quickly and firmly to establish his rule. Attached to this floating throne is a rope of red roses. It represents the Lancastrian lineage to the throne. At the bottom of the rope is a tub of margarine. It is tied in a nice bow and surrounded by a fort. This represents Margaret Beaufort, Henry VII's mother. Next to the tub is a hen with a boomerang that looks like the number 7. It's Henry VII. Floating above is another hen. It has a sail on its head. A sail looks like the number 4. This is Henry IV. The hen above is using a giant pair of scissors to cut the rope. King Henry IV had cut off the Beaufort line from claiming the throne. Also, Henry VII's claim to the throne by lineage was through his mother, Margaret Beaufort, and not a father. In those times, descent through the father was a stronger claim. These are both reasons why Henry's claim to the throne by lineage was weak. There are 3 wedding cakes. On top of each one is a toilet with a gauntlet. Another word for toilet is John. This gauntlet-wielding John is John of Gaunt. He has a red rose on him because he was the founder of the House of Lancaster. The wedding cake nearest to us is the 3rd one. This is his 3rd marriage, and it is the only cake with a baby on it. John of Gaunt's son from his 3rd marriage, Henry VII's great-grandfather, was born out of wedlock and was therefore seen as illegitimate according to the times. This is another reason why Henry's claim to the throne by lineage was weak. Henry is connected to the throne by a thin, weak thread. A large white rose is connected to the same throne by a thick, strong rope. Henry's claim to the throne by lineage was much weaker than certain members of the House of York. This is why Henry responded very strongly to challenges from both contenders and pretenders to the throne. Here's an idea. Compare the results of using visual memory techniques like this video with just using rote memory. The difference is quite shocking. That's why I do what I do. I make history easy to remember. Please comment, like, and subscribe. It is all greatly appreciated. And until next time, I'm Wacky Historian. History made easy. Thanks for visiting.